What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this new album from Paak called Ventura. Now, Paak is a rapper, singer, songwriter / jack of all trades who's coming out of Oxnard, California, and I think a lot of people first got familiar with him because of all the work that he did with Dr. Dre on his project called Compton. Before that project came out, Paak did have a solo career. Venice is the first one that I think a lot of people started to talk about, and it was pretty dope. But it was the album Malibu that really staked Paak's claim as one of the greatest upcoming artists. To this day, I still love this one. I keep it on my phone, and I have a physical copy in my car that I always like to jam with. And this just had a lot of great stuff happening with it, man. From the sample-based production, to the lively organic stuff, to Paak's unique blend of singing, vocals, and rapping. Really just a versatile project where he also got personal and opened up about his life, so to me that was a very high standard that Paak set for himself. Now, he also did that No Worries project called Yes Lord with Knowledge. That was pretty dope as well. That came out the same year, and those projects both made my year-end list. But then just recently, like 5 or 6 months ago, he dropped the project Oxnard. I was really excited when I saw that this one was coming out because of how much I did love Malibu, but unfortunately, after listening to that project and reviewing it, it just didn't feel like the natural Paak. We all know Dr. Dre's involvement was heavy into this one, and it really didn't have that same lively, organic feel that Paak had worked with throughout most of his career. Certainly was a big step back from Malibu in my opinion, but that's not to say it was trash. I still like quite a few songs on it, but it was a letdown and it didn't even make my year-end list last year. All that said, we now come to this project, and just before this was released, he put out a teaser video where he was talking to Dr. Dre about working on this and Oxnard at the same time. Just after watching that, it really made me think that maybe he knew there would be a mixed reception to Oxnard, and this right here would be him sticking to his true roots and giving his hardcore fans exactly what they wanted, because that's what this one is, man. This really is going to give you those Malibu vibes, so if you didn't like Oxnard too much and this is a sound you want from him, you are absolutely going to love this. That smooth, funky, soulful, groovy production is back all over this thing, starting with the song called Reachin too much. This in particular sounds like something that could have been on Malibu, and it also features great vocals from Layla Hathaway, and in spite of it being 6 minutes long, it still rides very smoothly. Just seems like the type of track you'd be driving around with anyway, so it's not like you're going to get bored of it. There is also a beat switch up on it, very gentle and smooth. That one just sounds like Paak through and through. And then you got the song Winner's Circle, which is in that same vein. I love the bubbling bass line on this, as well as those flutes that come in, and you're even getting some scatting on here. I don't know who it was that was doing it, but that shit is so damn catchy. I've been butchering it and trying to sing along with it, so it is the best scatting I've heard since Scatman John. He better watch his back. I don't know what happened to him. Been a while since we heard that beep bop 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 bop. And if you're younger, you might not even know that shit, but go ahead, look up Scatman John. He was doing his thing. But these are just examples of how great the production is on here, and it really is that traditional, live, organic Paak sound that I think a lot of his fans wanted. You also get that signature Pharrell sound on Twilight with these very heavy bass lines as well as some horns coming through. This wasn't really an amazing track to me, but I still like that production. And even Paak's vocals on this song and throughout this album seem much more thorough and polished than what he was doing on Oxnard. Like I said, man, the main point, the main takeaway from this project to me is that he wanted to get back to his roots and deliver for his fans, and he definitely does. There are some rap verses on here too, although most of it is singing and more in that soulful, funky stuff, but even the rapping on this is pretty solid. Nothing amazing as far as the songwriting and concepts go. I'd say if there was one point that I took away from this, it's that, you know, he doesn't really go as deep as he did on Malibu, so I think some of the songs might be a little bit forgettable in that sense, but in spite of that, they still sound great and they are a lot of fun, so I can't hate on that too much, if at all. In spite of that minor gripe though, there are still some moments with the songwriting that are exceptional, including on the song King James. First of all, this was an excellent single. It's just so funky, uplifting, and triumphant with those horns and that nice bass line on it, and here you're getting Paak delivering some of the best content on this whole album. He's really going deep basically about the rise of black people, how we've been strong, we've been through so much, but we're still here. He touches on topics like gentrification. He also brings up how bad it was for Colin Kaepernick to get kicked out of the NFL just for protesting police brutality mentality. Even just saying that out loud makes you realize how ridiculous that is. And as the song title suggests, he does speak on LeBron James as well, so it seems like this was named after LeBron James, who has done great with his activism work, including that school he started. There's actually some news about that recently where the grades have been very high from the students, so it's awesome just to see Anderson .Paak showing love to these people who have helped make things better for the community, and he's just speaking on a bunch of topics as well. So love the content here, great songwriting, great sound, and the other single was really dope as well. I'd say it was the other track that had some nice songwriting. This track is called Make It Better. It features the icon himself, Smokey Robinson, who's almost 80 and still delivering great vocals. And the reason I love this one so much is because it really has that 70s soul sound. Just sounds like a love song from that era. It also reminds me a little bit of what Mayer Hawthorne and Raphael Sadiq do with that sound. You know, just that new school take on that old school vibe. So I love the feel of this one, and I also like the songwriting here because it's just about making things better. I feel like in today's day and age, people are quick to end their relationships and move on to the next thing because you have so many people at your fingertips through social media. It's like, oh, didn't work out, I'll just jump in the DMs of like 5 other people and see which one sticks, you know what I mean? People just really move on from things quickly, whereas this song is about actually making it better. It's just very refreshing because a lot of rap and R&B these days is mostly about using and abusing each other, man. Just getting what you can get, whether it's sex, the money, whatever, moving on to the next one, just that braggy type of shit. But I like how we're getting that old school soulful sound and content here, man. I think that's needed, not just in rap, but also in R&B. So this is really dope. Not to say no one else is doing it. I know people are going to say, oh, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. I get it, but this was just a really clear example of it done well. So I love the singles, liked pretty much all the other tracks that I've spoken on so far. And of course, we got to speak on how there are all kinds of other great features all over this thing, man. Even when the track list came out, I got excited because it was very clear that he was going to go in a more soulful R&B route. So you have Brandy coming in on Jet Black. This one is just so funky and fun and danceable. It's going to be perfect for parties, weddings, events, and that type of thing. Brandy sounded great on here, I think, with her usual soft style. You also get a duet with Jasmine Sullivan called Good Heels. I really like the storytelling on this one as they're both trying not to get caught by Anderson .Paak's woman. They're creeping. She left some of her stuff in his house and she has to get out, something like that. I just thought it was a really cool idea. So there are plenty of great features on here and they really fit well, man. You know, the only thing I've really had to complain about so far is that songwriting, and even then there were a couple of moments I spoke on that I did like. But I also got to point out that a good thing about this is how it's so short and concise, man. He really simplified things and just went with his basics here, and I think a lot of people could learn from this because he really is giving his fans what they want, and I'm glad he did this so soon after Oxnard, man. I thought that was a dope move, very smart, so I gotta thank Anderson .Paak for coming through because, while a lot of people did like Oxnard, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's a solid project, I think this is the one that a lot of people wanted from him when he released Oxnard, you know what I mean? This is a sound that people were expecting, so I really fuck with that. And, you know, we gotta talk about two of the other great features on here, probably the two that stood out the most to me, Andre 3000, and of course Nate Dogg, the legend himself, man. I am a die-hard Nate Dogg fan. I have been for a long time. When he died, I was actually hurt by that shit. You know how we all have celebrities, athletes, rappers, or whatever who we're close to, and then when something happens to them, we really miss them. Like, Nate Dogg has always been a part of my childhood, man. When I first got into rap, I'm talking about, you know, Regulate. I'm talking about all the shit he did with Snoop Dogg, all that classic West Coast stuff, even his solo stuff. So I was really happy to hear him on here on the song called What Can We Do? This is actually the album's closer, and I can't lie, I was kind of nervous when I saw Nate Dogg was featured because sometimes when they use unreleased vocals from a deceased artist, it doesn't really work well, but Anderson .Paak pulled it off perfectly here, man. This is another song that has that old school vibe to it with the production, so it just feels good, and I like the way that they're adding layers and harmonies over top of Nate Dogg's voice. It almost really sounds like they were in the studio together working on this shit, so it really came together nicely, and I'm glad that, you know, it actually exceeded my expectations. It went really well. There's even this little conversation they pieced together on the end between Anderson .Paak and Nate Dogg. Really just a standout moment. Love that. R.I.P. to Nate Dogg. And as I mentioned, Andre 3000 is on Come Home. This again has that sort of Malibu groovy sound to it, and you get this beat switch up for Andre 3000's verse where you're getting this guitar backdrop, and he is just snapping, man. I don't gotta go into a bunch of detail. You know how it is with 3 Stacks, man. He disappears for a long time, then comes back and just kills shit. Vivid imagery, speaking on love and relationships, which, you know, those are the main themes that come up throughout this album. He really just just bodied that beat. So I loved all the features on here. Don't have a lot of complaints, but I am going to go with a 4 out of 5 because I don't think this is quite as strong as Malibu. To me, I think that will always be his best work, and what put it over the top, over that 4, is that it did have more personal content. I just think the songwriting was better on there. But still, man, this is really a dope project. Short, sweet, it plays to his strengths, he got back to his roots, and I already said how I feel about pretty much everything on here, so you already know, man. 4 out of 5, a very strong one. I love this album, and I can see it making my year-end list. But you guys let me know in the comment section what you think, because I always want to know what you guys feel, and how do you feel about this one in regards to his overall discography. Feel free, even if you want to rank his solo records. So you got Venice, Ventura, Oxnard, and Malibu. Feel free to rate those. Put in his other projects if you want. You know, just have fun with it, man. You know how we do over here. But thank you for watching. More stuff is in the works, and I will see you next time. I almost forgot to say, man, it's been a while since I recorded, so make sure you show me love and show me lots of it. Don't forget that. But I will still see you next time.